morning, our students. Today, I would like to discuss regarding the data model. As we know, data model that has to be defined with a collection of conceptual tools for describing the four factors, that is data, data relationship, data semantics, and consistency constraint. Data, for example, if we are creating a table that consists of student name, date of birth, and city. These attribute is having the certain data type as well as size. In spite of these three parameters, if we are providing some more parameter, that is called data constraint. Now for the defining of a data model, data that has to be inserted into the table with the help of attributes, and its attributes that can hold the data. The data that can be correlated with its type along with its size, and if we are providing the certain constraint like by primary key, unique key, foreign key. Now the relationship aspect of the data model is this. First of all, we have to create the structure of a data. After creating the structure of a data that can be consists of its data type, its size, as well as some constraint. So whatever the value that has to be inserted by the user, that will create a record, and the record is nothing but we may call as a tuple. All these records that has to be stored in a form of a database table. So a structure we can define with the help of data, and data is having the certain type, maybe integer, maybe string, maybe date, maybe number, as well as how the data that has to be organized in our table. This is the mechanism for the structure. Now second thing is this, we have a relationship. Whatever the data model we are using, that data model is falling in their respective category. Suppose we are discussing the relational data model. We have a number of attributes of a relation. If we have a more than one relation, in between the relation, if we have to establish the relationship, for that one of the attribute that has to be common between the tables. If we are talking about the relational data model. If we are talking about the ER model, so ER model that can be consists of entity and the entity that can be constituted of attributes, and these attributes that are representing the value of the entity sets in terms of data. Now more than one entity that can be related with each other with the help of relationship set. Now the entity that can be related in various forms like one-to-one mapping, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many relationship. And the third parameter, the third aspect of the data model is the constraint. If we are adding some constraint like primary key, it means that particular record is having the certain value that has to be unique for that particular records. That is called primary key. Now we have a various type of data model. One is called object-based logical model. Second one is called record-based logical model. And third one is called physical data model. So firstly, we will discuss about the object-based logical model. Object-based logical model is nothing but is the ER model. Object-based logical model are describing their data at their logical level as well as view level. For defining the ER model, we are using the certain graphics, and that graphics that can be used for the defining of a ER model. The overall logical structure of a database can be expressed graphically by an ER diagram. ER models are represented by ER diagram that can constitute of the following graphical symbols that we may call as a component. Suppose we have to represent the entity set. The entity set that has to be represented by the rectangle, and that entity set is having certain attributes, like suppose we have a student entity. The student entity is having certain attributes like roll number, date of birth, semester, city, as well as pin code, for example. So these attributes that has to be represented in the form of ellipse. If we are correlating the entity set with another entity set, for example, a student are taking their admission, and these students are taking their classes with the help of faculties. Now we have a one entity is called student, another entity we may call as a faculty. Now the students are taking their classes with the help of faculty. Now faculty is addressing the student with the help of relationship set that is called subject. The next symbol for the ER diagram is line, which links the attribute to entity set and entity set to the relationship set. Next, we have a double ellipse which represents the multi-valued attributes. Whenever we will discuss about the types of attribute, one of the attribute we have to use as a multi-valued attributes, and the dash ellipse, ellipse in the form of dash that has to be created, which is denoted by in terms of the derived attributes, and double line which indicates the total participation of an entity in a relationship set. These are the basic symbols that has to be used for defining the entity relationship data diagram. As far as the example is concerned, which is running on your screen, we have one entity is called a customer, another entity is called loan. Customer entity is having the certain attributes, we may also call as a column, like customer ID. Every customer is having their own ID, unique ID, and that ID that can be treated as a primary key. Secondly, we have a customer name and its address in the form of customer city and customer street. Now another entity said we have a loan. If any customer who are taking the loan that has to be recorded in the form of a loan account number or loan number, as well as what amount that has to be taken by the customer, that has to be represented by the attributes amount. This is the basic entity relationship data diagram has been shown on your screen. I hope you people may understand in a better way. Next type of data model we have a called record-based logical model. This is the second type of data model. First one is object-based logical model, and second one is called record-based logical model. Record-based logical models are describing the data at the logical and view level. You have studied the three level of data abstraction: physical level, logical level, view level. As we know that at physical level, the data that has to be stored in terms by using their schema, and at the logical level, we are defining the structure of a database, and at the view level, various users are interacting with our database system in the form of view 1, view 2, view 3, as well as view n. Databases are structured in a fixed format, and that fixed format is also be called as a record. And the record maybe is of the several types, because we have a different type of attributes that we are using in our record-based logical model. Each record type defines as a fixed number of fields or attributes, or you may call as a column name, and each fields or attributes is usually fixed length. So the use of the fixed length record simplify the physical level implementation of a database. The, the three most record-based logical models are: number one, relational data model. Next one is called network model, and final one is called hierarchical data model. So these are the three examples of the record-based logical model: relational, network, and hierarchical data model. Here on your screen we have a relational data model. Relational models are describing as a collection of two tables, and these tables that has to be related with each other. It means data representation that we have required. Each table is having their name, number of column, and is having their unique name. A relational database data model consists of two tables as far as this example is concerned. One table is called customer table, another table is called account table. As far as the customer table is concerned, we have a number of columns or attributes or field, that is name, SSN number, address, city, account number. Number of record that has to be inserted in your table along with the account table is having two attributes: account number and balance. Account number, plenty of record that has to be inserted into your account table as which is reflected on your screen. One thing is common between both the table of a relational data model is called account number. Account number is a kind of field which is common in your customer table as well as account table. With the help of account number, we are able to correlate the record of the customer table with account table. Next data model is called network data model. Data in the network models are represented by the collection of records, and relationships among the data are represented by links, which can be viewed as a pointer. Records in a database are organized as a collection of graphics. As shown on your screen, we have a plenty of record of the customer table, and we have a plenty of records of the account table, and these two records are linked with the help of pointers as shown in your table. And the final one is called hierarchical data model as well as the record-based data model. In hierarchical data model of record-based data model, in a form of an inverted tree, each records is linked up with the one child record, or you may say that one child record that may be interfaced with the parents records. So this is the inverted form of the hierarchical data model as shown on your screen. For this, we have used various references, and with the help of references, all these detail has been reflected on your screen. I hope you people have enjoyed the concept of the data model. Thank you.